Hey up troops, A Littleton here again with another video, and this time we're looking at a Year 8 Season 3 tier list. Now I have to be honest, I am drastically hungover today. I went to Insomnia Gaming Festival yesterday. Shout out to everyone who I met up with, it was great seeing everybody. So this is a bit of an easier video that doesn't require much thought, and I can just make a sweet tier list on a Sunday. Plus, it means everyone else can disagree with me in the comments when you say I'm wrong, because I'm going to put 0 in S tier, let me just tell you that right now. And all the comments will say, no, you're wrong. And you know what? That's the beauty of Siege. Everyone has a different opinion. That's enough waffling. Let's just get stuck into it. We're doing it all in one take. Move the screen over to the tier list. Now, this is not attacker or defender. This is the two combined. And we're going to kick things off. I think we'll just do everything in alphabetical order, right? And that makes probably the most sense, I think. Wait, they're not in alphabetical order. They are for like a little while, and then they're not. Anyway, let's just start with Ace. Bang. No questions asked. S tier. Probably the best attacker in the game at the minute. I'm going to try and not spend like 3 minutes talking about every operator, otherwise this video is going to be like an hour long, so I'll try and speed things up. Ace, no questions, S tier. Alibi, B tier. Not bad. Brings a shield, brings a bailiff, decent gun, all right utility. Literally the most middle of the road operator there is. Can't ever be mad at someone for bringing Alibi, but there's probably better options to bring. Amaru, I C or F for me, Amaru. F means like pretty useless, right? So let's not put her in useless, because she can be useful in some circumstances. Going up hatches on certain pushes is pretty useful. Getting early control of a top 4 ideally on a map, right at the start of the round if you can drone it. Please drone. If you can drone it and make sure it's clear. So yeah, not completely useless, but goes in C. The Rooney goes in A for me. I actually had a bit of a problem with the Rooney the other day when I was playing on Bank. I wanted to prep a window for a run out, and I couldn't prep it because I couldn't hit the window twice, because you just hit it once with a Rooney and it breaks. So I thought that was actually the mechanical arm, bionic arm, whatever it's called, is not always the best thing, but great operator in terms of stopping attackers. It does suffer a little bit now with Brava. There's a couple of operators in this tier list which will suffer because of Brava, and if you see there's an Rooney on the board when you're in the prep phase, you should definitely swap to Brava. She deals with a Rooney so well. Without Brava, I think a Rooney might go up here, but yeah, keeps it A for me. Ash, this is a good one because I think Ash is in a pretty good place at the minute. And I'm tempted to go A or B. With Ash, we go A. 2 great guns, obviously, 3 speed, and is actually a really good operator for vertical play. 3 breaching charges, 2 breaching rounds, which can obviously get rid of shields and whatnot as well. Just a good operator, just all-round good operator at the minute. I think if she had 3 breaching rounds, she'd probably be up here, possibly, but I still think she's a worthwhile operator. And there's something about playing Ash where you just play better when you play Ash. If you're playing on the Ash, for some reason, you turn into a gunner. It happens for everyone. Azami, not even going to talk about it, straight up into S tier, is probably going to get nerfed, I think, soon. I think they did say they were working on an Azami nerf. So I think it's going to be like a larger or longer cooldown between the shields or something, or the barriers, something like that maybe. Bandit, I think goes B. Pretty similar to Alibi, really. Pretty middle of the road. Does a good job, does it well. Never going to make the front page of the newspaper, but does his job really well. Blackbeard, get down here. Sorry, my hay fever is about to make me sneeze again. Turning into tradition, they're saying it's sneezing on videos. Blackbeard, oh, by the way, shout out to Kudos if you made this tier list, mate. Thank you for that. I assume you did, because that's why you're on the tier list here. I've just seen your logo down at the bottom corner there. Kudos is a fantastic Siege YouTuber. Cheers for making this the tier list, mate. So, yeah, Bandits causes problems for attackers, is easy to counter, but yeah, always a solid pick, really. Blitz, I'm going to put Blitz in C. Similar to Amaru, really, very situational. When he is used in like Elbow and Oregon, he's really, really strong. But a lot of times he isn't quite used correctly, inverted commas, because people will just run around the map hoping to catch someone out, and good players will know how to counter the Blitz by just shooting his ankles when he runs towards them. So if you can catch someone unawares in close quarters, he's unstoppable, but I don't think being able to get in that situation is not always the easiest thing. Brava, this is a good one. I've not really thought about Brava, about where I'm going to put her. Brava goes there or there, doesn't she? I think she goes there, you know. Because think about Brava, right? Even if you don't get any enemy equipment, you still get 2 extra drones anyway, which is pretty good. But But yeah, for example, I said earlier on that she counters certain operators really well. Maestro is pretty much dead and buried when there's a Brava on the board. Echo a little bit harder to counter because you can't really find the yokais as easily as you can other things. But there's a Valkyrie, and you know where the cams are, obviously. A Rooney gets absolutely totaled by Brava. Actually, yeah, obviously you can get Capcan traps as well. I'm going to put Brava in A. Buck, I think Buck goes here, you know. Sounds daft, right? Because he doesn't do anything extremely well, like Azami does, like Ace does. But I just think overall he's an S tier. Oh, is he A tier? I think he's A tier. He doesn't do everything. He just does everything really, really well. He's got a hard breach. He's got a soft breach. He's got an unreal gun. He's got a Gon 6. I think he's almost the perfect solo queue operator. The perfect flex operator. I think he goes A. I've changed my mind. Capital, B. Actually quite underrated, I feel. And there's a lot of situations where using Capital is a very, very good idea. I'm going to make a Capital video soon, actually. Because there's a lot of anchor points which people don't really take advantage of, where you can cause the area to be on fire and whatnot. But there's a certain mechanic with the fire arrow where you can make it drop exactly where you want it to. And I'll talk about that in the Capital video. But yeah, pretty situational. But again, brings a lot of utility, man. Gon 6, hard breaches, a great gun with the para. Obviously, 2 flame bolts, 2 smoke bolts. Good operator. Castle. And Castle goes on A. I think Castle had a bit of a resurgence recently, hasn't he? I mean, bringing the super short is great to set the site up. 4 Castle barricades can be annoying for attackers. And it really does slow the push down. The thing with Castle is, he's not like unstoppable. He's not like, oh God, they've brought a Castle, what a nightmare. You can deal with these barriers quite well, but it just soaks up the utility that you've got to use it on. If you put them in certain points, you've got to use breaching charges, use ash rounds, stand there and knife it 9 times or 8 times, 9 times to break the barricade. I think he goes in A. Caveira, I'm sorry, Caveira's poo, right? Right, hang on, wait a minute. Let me think about how I word this. If you were playing in a 5-stack and the other team has a Caveira and the Caveira does damage to your stack, you need to disband the stack and find a new stack. However, if you're solo queuing and you're playing against a Cav, she's actually probably there. But I'm going to assume that we're playing in a 5-stack, in which case she's there. If you see a Cav on the other team and you've got at least a sort of 3, 4, 5 stack, you're going to have no issue dealing with a Cav. It's easy to get rid of it. But if you've got 4 solo queuers, 5 solo queuers, then Cav can do some damage, but not for me. Clash, right, people, I keep saying people don't play it right. People don't play it right. Like, not everyone plays everything wrong, but people don't play Clash right. I mean that. I've said this before in other videos. Why do Clash players walk towards the enemy? Why? Like, the strongest place you can be with Clash is at a distance. In range for the zapper, but at a distance. And people walk towards enemy. The only weakness with Clash is if you walk towards an enemy and they can melee your shield. Stop walking towards enemies. That SMG she's got is pretty useful as well. I don't know if anyone's seen Fox A's clip from the other night in NAL. He got an insane 2k at the end of the round to stop a Monty planting. Then he turned around immediately and killed the guy that was pushing him. It was insane. If used correctly, Clash is a real force. Doc, just useless to... I might put Doc there, man. There's so many better options to take. The only reason people take Doc is because he's got a 1.5 and an MP5. That's it. In terms of utility and in terms of what he brings to the team, poo. Dockerby goes here, I feel. Or maybe there. Is it S? Is it S tier what Dockerby does? I don't know. Nah, I'm really torn. It's somewhere between S and A. I think if Dockerby had an AR, she'd be an S. No, I'm going to put Dockerby an S, actually, at the minute. EMPs are really useful. The DMR does slap. Yeah, I think... sorry, I think I'm getting told my dinner's ready. We better hurry up here. I think Dockerby goes S. Echo. S or A. There's a few operators for me that are lingering between S and A. I'm going to go with A for Echo. I really rate Echo, and I feel like he should be played a lot more because he's really, really useful. I did a video not so long ago where I talked about the 5 best defenders, and using Echo in the way that you can, where you can be aggressive with his drones, is really, really strong. Ella, C. Yeah, oh, maybe B. No, C. I don't. Mines are annoying, aren't they? She brings a shield, which is cool. She's got a good gun, but there's so many better operators in the minute. This is the beauty of Siege at the minute, right? If we'd have done this tier list 2 years ago, it was so easy to say these operators are a bit poo, these operators are really good. Whereas the meta now is so well balanced, I feel, that we can make a case for almost every operator in certain circumstances. It's really, really good, really, really good at the minute. Thinker, F for me. Without the nades, Thinker's in the mud. A little bit of a heal. What do you get, 30 HP or something? I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head at the minute, but getting 30 HP, but the problem with Thinker for me is you like lose a lot of the sound, a lot of your audio just disappears, so I don't rate Thinker at all at the moment. Flores, I do rate, and I think because Flores' drones are so squishy, he ends up here. But his drones are unreal. If you can get Flores drones through drone holes and into positions, Coastline's a great example on kitchen. There's a drone hole where you can right next to kitchen window, and you can just get rid of all the utility on kitchen window almost immediately. Any shields that are on the rotator are easy to get rid of. He's a really, really strong operator. There's a reason he's used a lot at the highest level. Frost is, I think, right, Frost I would probably put here because of a utility, but I feel like she brings more than that. The shotgun, a gun with the 1.5 is an absolute laser, and a shield as well. So if she didn't have that shield, she'd probably be here, but she does have the shield, so she goes there. Utility's annoying, anything. You get caught in frost mats sometimes, me more than most probably. But it's so easy to counter, isn't it? You put a drone through the window and you shoot it as you get in. It's really easy to counter. It's only there to counter people who've either forgotten, that's me by the way, or are too lazy to check. Fuse. Right, so I'm putting Fuse there. I actually rate Fuse, and obviously I made a video, I don't know if you've seen it, a couple of weeks ago, talking about how good Fuse is when you can put the pellets in the right area. The reason I'm putting Fuse here and not here is because he's only relevant on 50% of the sites. Because he's only relevant on the, like, if you're attacking a top floor of a map, you're not really going to be taking Fuse. So if you could, I don't know. Nah, he goes there. Glaz goes here. Again, very situational. Does have frags, but you're going to take the smoke so you can use the utility. Not the best operator at the minute. He's one of the weaker operators, I feel. Although he is a 3-speed, which people forget. Goyo, bang, up here. It's, in fact, good that these two are next to each other because Flores is one of the best Goyo counters ever, man. He's easily counters Goyo. Great operator, loads of areas in Isle for a long period of time, especially on areas where the default plant is a common place. So like bank basement is a great example. People do it all the time. Putting canisters by that door to stop people planting there works really well. He works great in areas where there's a certain area of the map that you know the attackers are going to need, and then you can play like a bakery on cafe when people attack kitchen. Good operator. Gridlock goes here, no questions for me. Good operator, solid operator, brings a lot to the table. If she wasn't at 1 speed, I think you'd see a lot more Gridlock. 2 great guns as well. But I think because Nomad's so good, it sort of overshadows Gridlock a little bit. But yeah, Gridlock goes there for me. Grim goes here, which is good because on other tier lists we've done, he's been down here. After he's changed recently, there's a few areas. I might make a Grim video actually because there's a good few areas on certain maps where Grim can really cause some problems. So something that someone did to me the other day actually was they were bouncing the bees off the top floor in Canal. I was playing the top of red stairs. And they were bouncing the bees off the door frame onto the red stairs. So I couldn't play there because I was getting pinged every time I was there. It was a really, really good use of Grim, and I'm going to try that myself, and maybe I'll make a Grim video at some point. Habana goes here. Very, very good at opening multiple different things. Castle barricades as army barriers. Obviously hatches, reinforced hatches. Not quite as good as Ace when it comes to opening walls, but she's still very, very good. Potentially there, actually, to be fair. I haven't got many S tiers here, have I? Well, don't worry, that one's going S tier. Honor's S tier at the minute. No questions for me. Not everyone uses the utility to the max potential as well, either. Obviously great at burning Aruni gates, but like I said in that top 5 attacker video, don't forget when you play Iona, don't get your clone destroyed if you can avoid it, because it takes like 3 times as long for the cooldown to refresh. Come out of the drone yourself, come out your clone yourself, your replicator it's called, and it come out your Gemini replicator yourself instead of having it destroyed, and the cooldown is like 3 times quicker. IQ goes there, I think. I actually rate IQ, and I think a gadget's a really cool gadget, but she's just a bit lost at the minute. Like, there's no real benefit to taking an IQ most of the time. The only where IQ sort of finds herself at the minute is if you've got to open a wall and you've only got EMPs instead of Thatcher, then she can find out where the K-Claw is or where the bandit batteries are and make it easier to throw the EMP. But that's probably about as good as IQ is at the minute. Jackal, I think Jackal goes there. I'm sort of less worried about Jackal. Jackal used to be really annoying me. I used to hate playing Jackal. I actually don't mind playing against Jackal anymore. He is really oppressive and he's a great roam counter. But yeah, he's not A at the minute, he's probably B. His utility is great, but he definitely needs a bit of a nerf, I feel. I've seen loads of people with ideas saying like he should have the ping for the footprint should only ping for Jackal himself and not for his teammates as well, which I think could probably be a good change. But yeah, I think he goes there, potentially there, but we'll go there for now. Jaeger goes here still. Another great operator, and it's lovely when you see operators like Jaeger still right at the top, like day one op, still right up in A tier. Still got a great gun, obviously. Utility's really, really solid. Utility does more than just catching grenades, though. Everyone thinks, oh, well, wait, they're going to bring frags, take Jaeger. Think of areas where Ace is going to be throwing Salmas. Cafe is a great example on Kitchen, where they throw in the Salmas at the prep door. You can put two ADSs on bakery door and catch two Salmas right off the rip. Really, really good. I think Cade goes... He's not S, as he goes there. He's better than Bandit, but he's not quite S tier. Good operator, really annoying if you're on attack to try and find those claws because the EMPs have got such a short radius. It's easy enough to avoid them. You can Cade trick as well. Yeah, he's great. He's the reason he's banned more often than not. And Cali comes down here. If Cali had a DMR, well, I made a how to play Cali video ages ago, and when I was doing all this sort of testing, I sort of realized this Lance, like her utility is actually really, really good. The problem is nobody wants one shot. Nobody wants that like one shot chance type thing with the sniper. If she had a DMR, Cali would probably be somewhere here or here, I reckon. And I mean that, like the Lance is very, very good. Capcan. Does Capcan go there, or we're all idiots and we could just check door frames and therefore Capcan's there? I think that's where I'm going to put Capcan. I'm not saying he's not great, because he is. He kills me all the time through traps, but it's easy to counter, isn't it? If we're not morons and we don't just run through doors without checking, it's easy enough to counter, but he is really solid. I think it probably goes there, to be fair, don't he? Cool. Be serious. Legion definitely goes there now. A lot of people have said, oh, the Legion changes as a nerf because now we can see his mines. Yeah, but now his mines do a lot more damage and do instant damage straight away as well. So, yeah, Legion definitely goes there for me. Lion goes here. When used with a push, when you're attacking, like doing an execute and doing a sort of coordinated push, and you all come through the corner at the same time, and your Lion scan right, go now, scan right, move, go. Really, really solid. I still think it's not the best utility, but in the right circumstances, it's very good. Easily in B. Maestro, probably B as well, I think, even though I want to do this. But underutilized. I did a video about him recently showing some good setups. Really good operator. Unreal gun. But is easily countered by Brawler. And depending where you put the cameras are also easily countered now as well. Watch that Maestro video that I made if you want some good Maestro setups. But if you put the cameras in the right place, he's probably up here, but he can easily be countered. Maverick probably goes here now, I feel. The amount of people that have got EMPs now mean that Maverick sort of lost his way a little bit in the meta at the minute. You used to have to take a Maverick if they banned Thatcher and they brought Bandit. I'm going to have to bring Maverick. Not now with the EMPs. So Maverick sort of lost his way a little bit. Obviously lost his nades. I mean, I could even put Maverick here at the minute, you know. But he has no counter, does he? Any reinforced wall can be opened by Maverick, so... Malusia goes here as well. People have also forgot how strong Malusia is. Like, it's still really good. Great information if you're holding down a certain area. You get the information straight away. You can act on it. Malusia is solid. I think Mirror goes here. The reason I don't think Mirror's S tier, and I actually wouldn't ban Mirror. On certain maps, you've got to at bank. But on other maps, I don't think Mirror's an instant ban because almost everywhere where Mirror puts her mirror, the floor below or the floor above is soft. So you can go below, you can go above, and you can play book the floor, shoot the mirror out straight away. Twitch obviously is a great counter for Mirror. But yeah, I don't think Mirror is as strong if you... Then again, it's hard to say in it because if you do everything right in Siege, then everything's easy to counter. But obviously the whole point of Siege is you don't make everything easy for your opponents, and therefore they don't counter it. So it's easy saying, oh yeah, all you do is you go above mirror, open the floor, and shoot the mirror. Yeah, but it's not as easy as that because there's people probably roaming or, you know, whatever. But still really oppressive in certain areas of maps. Monty is poo. I'm telling you, man. People just don't know how to, like, they panic. You see a Monty and they go, oh God, it's Monty. Crap, what are we going to do? Very, very easily countered. Obviously strong when pushing with other attackers. I see a Monty and I'm genuinely not worried. What I am glad about is it's one less assault rifle on the attack. I don't rate Monty at all. If you use him right, and there's great Monty players out there, he can be good, but it's very situational. And if I see a Monty on the other team, I'm generally pretty pleased about it. Mozzie, again, very similar to what I said about Alibi and Bandit. Middle of the road operator, does things very well. Couple of good guns. Great intel denial, obviously. Not does he just deny the intel, he gains the intel. So he's sort of a double-edged sword where it's beneficial for him as well. He's potentially even here, to be fair, but I'm going to leave him at B for now. Mute, no questions asked. Straight up to S tier. Great operator. Counters almost everything. Obviously, the shotgun, the SMG-11, is one of the best combos in the game, especially now shotguns have been buffed. Does everything, can do anything. Wall denial, intel denial, utility denial with claymores and air jabs. Great op. You know what? Knock, bang, no problem for me. Straight in C tier. Way overrated. Gets played purely because of her frag grenades, and she's going to suffer from Finker syndrome, where if her frag grenades ever get taken away, she's going to be down here. The utility is almost useless to an extent, apart from being a little bit quieter. It's obvious there's a knock on cams even when she's invisible. I don't think she's overly good, to be honest with you. And again, people just... This whole TDM meta has made people think knock's amazing. She's really not. Nomad goes into A, I think. Or potentially B. I think she goes B, actually. The air jabs are very easily countered. Like, you can shoot an air jab off almost every door without actually triggering the air jab if you just get the right angle. Obviously, dead good for holding the flanks. That's a whole job. But if you can hear the air jab, you can get rid of it quite easily. But still a decent operator, you know, by all means. Still really good. Oryx is down here for me. He's just lost his way again a little bit, hasn't he? Why are you playing Oryx now? To climb hatches? No, you're not, are you? Used to play him for the 1.5. He hasn't got it anymore. Who's climbing hatches? When was the last time you climbed a hatch as Oryx? Like, not the best operator to play. The T5 is a laser, but if you're playing Oryx, just play Legion instead. Osa goes here, I think, because of the EMPs. If you see an Osa on the other team, you can sort of work it out, right? If you know that Thatcher's banned and you've got wall denial, they're going to bring EMPs. They're probably going to be bringing Osa. But Hard Baguette made a great point the other day about how easy it is to counter Osa when you've got an impact grenade. Like, it's so easy. And Osas feel sort of impenetrable. They feel like completely invulnerable. They put the shield down, they stand behind the shield, crouch behind the shield, and like, ha! But one impact grenade and it's all over. So, still a good op, though. Pulse goes there. No, actually, Pulse goes there. Or Pulse goes there. No, he goes there. A bit like what I said with Fuse, our Fuse is only really good when you've got sights above. Well, Pulse is the same, but only good when you've got 4 sights below. Sights above. Obviously, you can go below and play below yourself, which is generally what happens. But I don't know. If you know there's a Pulse, you know he's going to be the 4 below. A bit like what we talked about with Caveira, how easy it is to counter. If you know there's a Pulse, you know you can just play the 4 below and take the Pulse out. I'm not going to do recruit. Move recruit to the end here. I can't. There we go. Rook gives you down but not out. But nah, not for me. How many times do you down an enemy and not kill them? It's very, very rare. I don't feel like Rook is up there at the minute for me. Sense. Good operator, man. Good operator. But again, very, very situational, really. And they... I'm just trying to think of a situation. Like, very, very situational. Good at drone holes. I can hear someone like banging on my door outside. I'm not sure. I don't know what that noise is. It sounds like someone's banging on the outside in the garden. Anyway, that's not relevant. Very situational. However, when they're used in the right way and with a coordinated push, they're very strong. Sledge, boom, straight up. You know what? Sledge could even go there for me. Straight up to A. A very similar to what I said about Alibi and Bandit, but a bit better. The frags really, really help. Just a great operator. What I said about Jaeger as well, seeing a day one op, still in A tier is world class. I really like Sledge. Smoke used to be S, now goes in A tier. Losing his shield, I feel, has really affected him. A lot of the setups are now not relevant that you used to do with Smoke, like all the angles that you used to hold, all the different areas on the map you used to hold, Pixel on Cafe, Elbow on Oregon, etc., etc. Now you can't do with Smoke. Still good though. Still got a decent set of utility and decent weapons, but now he's lost the shield. He's just dropped down a tier or so. Solus, no questions. Probably too strong at the minute. Definitely too strong at the minute. Don't know how you nerf her. Probably reduce the range or reduce the time that you can be in the scanner. One of the best defenders at the minute, without question. Tachanka, into B tier for me. He's a bit underrated, I feel, and probably does what Smoke used to do quite well these days. The only thing, and we say it every time we talk about Tachanka, we need an underslung barrel on Tachanka's gun to make it not to make it not take 2 weeks to swap between your LMG or your PP19 to the Shamika launcher. It just takes too long, and that's the risk. You know, if you're on Elbow and you're firing fireballs down onto the area of blue double door, and somebody pushes in, it takes you a week to get your weapon back out. It's tough. Thatcher goes. Oh no, Thatcher goes there. He's just still the best when it comes to denying utility. Don't forget as well, Thatcher doesn't just stop wall denial. Thatcher can stop every single electronic gadget that the defender has. So if you've got a Mozzie Pest on the door, you could even Thatcher that to get past it and all the other good stuff. Good operator, but he's gone from here down to here because of the mini EMPs that other people have got. Thermite, he's got to go A tier, hasn't he? I made that video recently that it absolutely blew up, but world-class operator. Absolutely mad what he can do, even on his own. Doesn't need help. Much easier if you do have help, but can still do a lot on his own as well. World-class operator. It's great as well that Ace, Thermite, and Habana are all up in A and S tier. Thorn, yeah, I got the 1.5, but I actually died to a Thorn trap on Friday night when I was streaming on Canal. So I have to be careful what I say about Thorn here, because I was going to say, yeah, it's easily counted though, isn't it? But yeah, well, not for me, because I died. But yeah, the Razor Blooms are good. How often do they kill people? Very, very rarely. But that's not necessarily what they're there for. They give you that information early, don't they? You don't necessarily want to kill. I mean, you want to kill from the Razor Bloom, but you want the information to know that there's an enemy in that area of the map. Thunderbird, there for me. Very lost as well at the minute. I would much rather have almost any other defender on my team than a Thunderbird. It's a great gun for defense, by the way. It's an absolute powerhouse, but the utility at the minute is just... I mean, you can see a pattern here, can't you? These are all healing ops, and I think they're all F tier, so... Twitch, I think Twitch goes A tier. Twitch is really good at the minute. The F2 probably makes it a little bit worse because it's hard to use at the minute. The DMR is world class though, but being able to pop mirror windows, get rid of default cams so easily, having 2 extra drones just for a start, but being able to get rid of things that now exist in the game like prox mines and things like that makes Twitch very, very good at the moment. I think we should probably see some more Twitch. I think she's really strong. Valkyrie, no questions, up to S tier. 3 hidden cams, and the attackers might not know where they are, or usually don't know where they are. Great operator. Comes with the C4 as well, just world class. Vigil, I think he's a little bit lost at the minute. Vigil goes into C. Great gun, good roamer, still fun to play, but doesn't really bring that much for the team. If you're playing Vigil, just play Solus, and you'd be better off. Wamai, I think I put Wamai up to A tier, I think. I really rate Wamai, and obviously he's got the 1.5 on the MP5K. Really solid op at the minute. I think he's, quite comfortably in A. Wow, this is a good one, isn't it? Warden. Where do we put Warden? Warden goes B tier, right? Warden goes B tier because if he didn't have a 1.5, no one would play him. Yes, he's got the 1.5, which makes him good, but his utility is situational at best. How many people actually use it when you play Warden? Like, literally never. But if you didn't have that 1.5, I don't know, I just don't rate him that much. I mean, obviously, no, that's not true. I do rate him, but not just because he's got a 1.5 scope. Fenrir, no problem, straight up into S. Probably the best defender, or him, Solus, and his army are easily the top 3 defenders at the minute. No questions asked. Ram, this is a good one. I think Ram goes in A tier for me. does more as well than just chewing up the floor. Like being able to rush barricades as fast as Ram does is really, really strong. But obviously any site that's below is in trouble because the what are they called, boogies, are opening the floor and opening the floor fast. Ying, A tier for me. I think Ying is class. I did it on that top 5 attackers video when I talked about how good Ying is. It's insanely strong, the Kandala, and I don't know why more people who want to use like the sort of run and gun TDM meta. She has a 1.5 on an LMG that reloads as fast as a normal assault rifle. 4 insane flashbangs, smoke grenades, or hard breach charges. Literally an insane operator. 0. No, I'm putting 0 in S. No problem. No problem for me. 0's right up there. I did say at the start of the video I was putting 0 in S. The only thing that makes you think 0 might go here is the fact that you generally rely on others to make the best use of his gadget. And if you're solo queuing, you can't rely on others. But I'm pretending we're not solo queuing. He gets the Gon 6, the hard breach charges. Great operator. Last but not least, Zafir. Bang in there for me. Actually, again, I've said this about a few operators, quite underplayed. The gun is still world class when the recoil got buffed. And has a lot of utility. Breaching charges, plus impact grenades, plus concussion grenades. Maybe does she go there? I feel that if Sophia wasn't a 1-speed, Sophia might be up here, you know. Just brings a lot to the table. Just a really solid flex attacker. I think that's us done, guys. I think that's fair. What is great to see here, by the way, is that there's a lot of operators who have slotted into the A tier. And why I think that's good is it means you've got a lot of choice. You've got a lot of ways of doing things in Siege at the minute. It's not like you've got to play these 8 operators. And if you don't play these 8 operators, you're trolling. There's loads of operators you can go, that's a great shout, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Let's play these. And it's great to see this, I think. I think the meta at the minute is the best it's ever been in terms of the flexibility and the options you've got for attacking and defending and getting creative with things. There's no doubt about that. But as always, it's a tier list, and it's only my opinion. So let's see what your opinion is in the comments below. I think that's where we'll leave it. I'm going to go and have some dinner. I think I've got hot dogs for my dinner, which I'm really looking forward to. The NFL season starts, well, it started on Thursday, but NFL season starts today as well. So big up the Bengals. I think we're playing the Browns today. I'll be watching that. Kickoff in 40 minutes time or so. But other than that, have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!